Good evening. It's January 8th, 2013. This meeting's called to order. The notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In event of an emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chambers are through the three doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front doors, and move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session, please sign in on the sheets provided in the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must make a call, please leave the chambers to do so. I'd like to announce some dignitaries we have in the audience tonight from the Board of Education. Sue Hudak. Sue? Dawn Biviano. Our newest member, Archie Stavelli. And the newly appointed president, Mr. Alvarez. Also, freeholder Christopher Hudak's with us tonight. Thank you all for coming for swearing in for council members. The council members who were elected November 6th on 2012 general election have been subscribed to their oath of office prior to the January 1st. But for the benefit of public in attendance, the officials will repeat the process. The oath of office will be administered by the following elected and re-elected officials. I'm going to ask Chris Colibus to step forward, please. And Christopher John Colibus will be sworn in by Judge Daniels. Is he with us, Judge? There we go. Daniel Roberts. Holding the Bible will be the campaign manager. Holding the Bible will be his wife, but I understand. She is the And Mr. Cobbler's children, Ava and Julianne, as well as his mother, Nancy, and Father John, please come forward.
I'm good.
Okay. I, Christopher Colibus,
I, Christopher Colibus,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
Can I read that? Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the governments established in the United States and in this state.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state.
Under the authority of the people.
Under the authority of the people.
And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties of the office of councilman.
And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of the office of councilman
Of the first ward for a 3-year term commencing January 1st, 2013 and terminating December 31st, 2015.
of the office of councilman, first ward, for a 3-year term commencing January 1st, 2013 and terminating December 31st, 2015.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
too. It's
Okay,
okay.
you can just,
Hi, girls.
Juliana, look forward.
Juliana.
Juliana.
Juliana. Hi. Okay, we'll do one more. Come on, Danny. It's a happy time.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Councilman from the 9th Ward, Armando Medina, to come up. He'll be sworn in by... And Councilman Medina be sworn in by Judge Daniel Roberts. Holding the Bible will be his campaign manager, Rich Guerrero, and will be his mother, Agnes Barros, and his father, Jose Medina. Please come forward.
You ready? Yes. I, Armando Medina,
I, Armando Medina,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and the governments established in the United States and in this state,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, to the government established in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of Councilman of the 9th Ward
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of the office of Councilman 9th Ward
for a 3-year term commencing January 1st, 2013, and terminating December 31st, 2015,
for a 3-year term commencing January 1st, 2013, and terminating December 31st, 2015,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, will you present the certificates of elections to the newly elected council people?
On behalf of County Clerk Joanne Rajapi, I wish to extend her congratulations to Christopher Colbus on his reelection and to Armando Medina on his election as council people in the city of Linden. And on her behalf, I'd like to present them with their certificates of election.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Colbus.
Here.
Koziel. Here. Brown.
Here.
Armstead.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Sheehy.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski. Here. Mr. Moore.
Here. At this point, I would like to ask the mayor to come forward and give us his annual State of the City message. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Council President. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the year 2013. I just hope that Mother Nature doesn't have another surprise up our sleeve for this year also. If you think about it, in 2010, we had a 32-inch snowfall. In 2011, We had the Hurricane Irene, and we had a Halloween snowstorm. Then in 2012, she topped it all off with Superstorm Sandy. That punished Linden, and it devastated the shore and our neighbor across the Arthur Kill, Staten Island. Through it all, we survived and we persevered. Our police, fire, OEM, and public works removed the hazards and protected the property of our residents, putting themselves many times in harm's way. Central Dispatch and our police desk fielded volumes of calls from demanding and sometimes irate residents, not realizing the gravity of the situation. All our office workers served the residents extremely well and the best they could, since there was no electricity in City Hall. Department heads rolled up their sleeves, contributing not only leadership, but hands-on participation. I can honestly say that I've never been more proud of our city workers than during that week with Hurricane Sandy. They come to help our city recover, even though they needed the same relief at home with many of the same problems that Linden residents were burdened with. Many of our corporate neighbors also helped out. Citgo filled our gas and diesel underground storage tanks free of charge when they were dangerously low and we couldn't get fuel deliveries. Phillips 66 provided manpower with public works to clear our public parks of the branches and storm debris. They also took it upon themselves to assist residents on 13th Street, Emma Place, and Madison Avenue, cleaning out their flood-damaged homes of all the wet articles. And further, a week or two later, they donated to the city of Linden $25,000 to a special relief fund that we set up for severe victims of Hurricane Sandy. But they didn't stop there. They gave $25,000 more to our police department and $25,000 more to our fire department to be used for equipment that will help in disasters such as Sandy, specifically generators and other equipment. Newstar, another major corporation in the city of Linden, donated $100,000 to United Way, with some of that money earmarked for the city of Linden Hurricane Relief Fund. So even though Linden did receive a 1-2 punch from Hurricane Sandy, everyone from employee to resident to business chipped in to help us recover. I'm just hoping, and I hope everyone else keeps their fingers crossed along with me, that Mother Nature is going to be kinder to us this year. My congratulations to First Ward Councilman Chris Colibus on your re-election. I look forward to working with you for at least the last 2 years of my mayoral term. To the new 9th Ward Councilman Armando Medina, I welcome you to our governing body. I know you worked hard to get elected, and I'm sure you'll just work just as hard for your 9th Ward constituents and the residents of Linden. But I have to admit, tonight is a bit bittersweet moment watching Armando being sworn in. Bob Frazier, who's a good friend of mine, and I have gone through the political process for many, many years. And I don't think the city of Linden will ever find a better representative than Bob Frazier. He's a diplomat, a gentleman, and an individual that I always turned to for advice when I needed it. Bob, I'm sure you're watching on TV. I want you to know I'm going to miss you, but I want you to know you should enjoy your family, enjoy your retirement. You earned it, and can rest assured that the 9th Ward is in great shape and that the future is in good hands. 2013 marks the start, believe it or not, of my 7th year as your mayor. And as I speak to you, I have never been more confident and more optimistic about Linden's future. As you hear me speak tonight, I feel you will agree with me as you learn about the progress our city is making towards its future. Time and time again, you've heard me say that the only way to stabilize taxes is to reduce expenses and to increase revenue. And that's exactly what council and I have been doing over these last several years. Because when we start reducing costs and increasing revenue, that's when the burden of taxation shifts from the residential homeowner to industry. But I have to admit, it hasn't been easy. We are in a national economy that's been classified as being in the worst recession since the Great Depression. But we are making great strides. On the reduction side of the equation, we have reduced our workforce by 86 full-time employees and 15 part-time since I became mayor. That is a savings, counting salary, benefits, and pension, of $7.9 million to the residents of Linden. Recently, we purchased 7 Ford Focus vehicles as transportation replacements for various departments. The cost at $13,500 per vehicle, and they get 35 miles to the gallon with a 3-year warranty. It just didn't make sense to reassign old police cars to other departments, as was the tradition. Besides, these police cars were 8-cylinder gas guzzlers and had over 250,000 miles on them and were constantly breaking down because of the 24/7 hard use of the police department. Recently, we converted an old water truck to a brine spreader. This piece of equipment spreads liquid salt solution over our roadways so that they don't ice up. What makes this more cost-effective than regular salt is that we could spread this on our roadways during normal business hours before the icing or snowfall occurs, thereby saving overtime. In a couple of months, we're going to be conducting a pilot program in the 9th and 10th Ward involving a new sanitation collection system. We are waiting on the delivery of these trucks that will mechanically lift city-supplied garbage containers and dump them in a hopper by themselves. It will reduce a 3-man sanitation crew to 1, the driver. It will also reduce the mounting on-the-job injuries that our sanitation personnel are receiving from lifting the heavy garbage loads into the hopper. Our Public Works Department studied other municipalities that collected their garbage in this way, and they're convinced that it'll be a successful cost saver for the city of Linden. On June 1st of this year, the city of Linden provided 24/7 ambulance service to the residents of Linden by our fire department. This is being done without any additional manpower or cost to the taxpayer. Previously, we had a hybrid ambulance service consisting of the Volunteer Ambulance Corps, the Linden Emergency Medical Services, and the Linden Fire Department. It was an extremely hard decision to terminate these 2 organizations that had provided such excellent ambulance service to our residents, but it was the right decision. Having 3 agencies providing the same service is not cost-effective. I know a simple thank you is insufficient to both these organizations because they have done such a tremendous service for the residents of Linden over the decades. But that's all I am able to offer. So to the Linden Volunteer Ambulance Corps and the Linden Emergency Medical Services, I just would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. So you can see that this administration and city council are constantly looking for ways to work smarter and to deliver services more cost effectively. In regards to the revenue side of the equation, myself and city council, along with Linden economic developer Ron Stefanowitz, have been working extremely hard to encourage business and industry to locate and expand in our community. Last September, I went on a 7-day economic mission to Tanchuan, China, paid for by the government of China. My objective was to introduce Linden to this city of 750,000 residents and what we have to offer Chinese business. I am confident a strong relationship was developed between myself and these Chinese leaders, and that we will build upon it for future development between both cities. We continue to work with Duke developers to break ground on the 2 anchor stores on the old General Motors property. This could have been accomplished 2 years ago, except for the fact that ShopRite of Aviation Plaza continues to hit us with nuisance lawsuit after nuisance lawsuit. It's extremely frustrating because the real losers are the Linden taxpayers. Why? Because our city could reap the real estate benefits that would be significant with 2 anchor stores plus 10 smaller stores when they become operational. That is why I constantly tell Linden residents to do their grocery shopping somewhere other than ShopRite of Linden. They are seriously hurting us and not allowing us to expand and increase our revenue base. A more encouraging retail development on Park Avenue and Route 1 and 9 is expanding as planned. A 30,000 square foot retail building between TGIF and Kohl's is being built. That will house harbor, salvage, tools, and a dollar store. This developer is also prepared to build a 5 to 10 store strip mall on Linden Avenue when he feels the economy approves enough for him to make a profit. The long-stalled housing project on Southwood Avenue across from Linwood Tavern has finally been given a second life. Since 2003, we've been paying $240,000 a year in principal and interest on debt, and the only thing we have to show for it is an empty lot. Recently, the project team and the developer agreed to a redevelopment plan that was approved by the planning board, and they are going in contract negotiations now with the developer for a 5-story building geared towards young professionals who use the train to commute to New York and Newark. Also, the Parkline condominiums on East Elizabeth Avenue off of Wood Avenue will be available for occupancy by the spring. When the first 48 units are sold, another 48 will be built. The 2010 U.S. Census figures show cities are now growing faster than suburbs for the first time since World War II. And the majority of these people returning to the cities do not have young children. They are the empty nesters, the retirees, couples, or young singles who want easy access to work or cultural centers. Planners all agree that New Jersey Transit's Northeast Corridor is an asset that should be exploited to achieve this goal. That is why, when completed, both of these developments will create a spark that's going to cause an explosion, transforming our downtown Wood Avenue into a unique shopping center with quality stores and restaurants, all geared towards young professionals and empty nesters. To further enhance this development and make Linden more attractive, we received a $100,000 grant from the Department of Transportation that could only be used to beautify our train station and the surrounding area. This grant was given to us due to our Transit Village designation, which is finally starting to pay off. Although more money is needed, it is a start, and we've already applied for another $250,000 grant. In July of this year, the city of Linden was honored by being invited to a breakfast meeting at the governor's mansion known as Drumthwacket. In coordination with the governor's office, I invited a broad spectrum of 40 community leaders and business representatives to exchange ideas with our governor. It was a pleasure to have Governor Christie listen to the needs of the city of Linden. Several days later, I received a letter from him directing the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to conduct a $5.4 million engineering study to be done on the entrance and exit ramps of Interstate 278 that merge with Route 1 and 9. This project has been discussed for over 20 years and is known as the missing link. It will improve traffic flow off of the Goethals Bridge and the New Jersey Turnpike. It will also remove a large amount of vehicular traffic off of our local roads, particularly Park Avenue. Completion is expected by 2018 at a cost to the Port Authority of over $100 million. On January 25th, that's this month, I will be meeting with Commissioner Constable from the Department of Community Affairs, Commissioner Simpson from the Department of Transportation, and Commissioner Martin from the Department of Environmental Protection to convince them to support several other important issues that they have control over in their department for the city of Linden. I will be there for having an hour's audience with each one of these individuals, and I'm extremely excited about it because I feel that I could convince them to grant more money to the city for the betterment of our community. Another project which is finally coming to fruition after 15 years and a full court press by our LEDC director on the DEP and the Coast Guard is Linden's Connector Road. This is a 4-lane highway in each direction, an extension of New Jersey Turnpike over the Rawway River from exit 12 in Carteret to our Tremley Point area. The DEP is finally accepting Piles Creek as a suitable mitigation site for the wetlands that will be disturbed due to the construction of this bridge across the Rawway River. This mile-long roadway will provide easy access to over 400 acres of heavy industrial property that's all ready to be developed and thereby relieve truck congestion on Southwood Avenue and Route 1 and 9. The New Jersey Turnpike has committed $34 million to this project, and it's anticipated that completion will be at the end of 2015 or spring of 2016. So as you could see, there's a lot of positive developments coming to fruition in the near future. But one that is already in our pocket, so to speak, is a recently negotiated host community benefit agreement with Spectra Energy. They are a major energy transportation corporation that is burying a 42-inch natural gas pipeline from one of their transmission stations in Linden down Lower Road, underneath the New Jersey Turnpike, underneath the Arthur Kill into Staten Island and Manhattan to supply natural gas. This major East Coast energy project is a tax-rateable home run for the city of Linden. Effective February 1st, 2014, we have a signed contract, February 1st, 2014, they will start paying the city of Linden $2.5 million a year in host community benefit fees. Thank you. That is truly a home run tax-wise for us. But that's not going to solve all our problems, but it's going to help us a long way in our goal towards tax stabilization. But with all good news also comes some bad. And I'm not pleased to announce the loss of a large rateable at the foot of Tremley Point Road, the old American Cyanamid building. This international company, Eastern Metal Recycling, was going to develop 15 acres of the 38-acre parcel to recycle and crush metal products. They would then load the product on a barge, delivered to Port Newark Elizabeth for smelting in China. Over a year of hard work with EMR and the property owner helping to negotiate a deal between them went down the drain. Why? Because the New York Audubon Society was concerned about the noise this facility would create to a bird sanctuary that's located in the middle of the Arthur Kill between Linden and Staten Island. It's called Prales Island. They sued our planning board, who unanimously approved the site approval of this facility. And needless to say, Linden and EMR won in Superior Court. The New York Audubon Society then appealed the decision to the appellate division. 3 weeks ago, I received a letter from the president of Eastern Metal Recycling, and I'll quote a short excerpt from it. While we believe the New York Audubon Society's complaint is without substance or merit, it is in all likelihood they will appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Additionally, even though they will fail in their complaint regarding our development plan, it is likely they will further delay and complicate our applications for air, stormwater, and waterfront permits. Therefore, EMR has decided not to pursue the purchase and development of the Chermley Point property. The loss is 30 jobs to the city of Linden and another decent industrial revenue source. Why? Because of a self-interest group that manipulates the legal system for their own selfish benefit, even when they're proven wrong in a court of law. This angers me, and it's no different than what ShopRite is trying to do on a GM property with Super Walmart. Yet, given this loss, Linden is still on the cusp of recovery. And just as you've heard, we are well positioned to take advantage of every opportunity to grow as a community and as a city. And today, I pledge to you that we will achieve our goal of economic development, cost reduction, and tax stabilization so we could provide a better quality of life for all the residents of our great city. I am confident the new year will be one of progress and success for Linden, and I wish that for each and every one of you. May we all have a blessed, happy, and healthy new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Has everybody had an opportunity to sign the sign-in sheet to speak up front here? If not, would you come forward and sign the sheet for presentations and comments? Thank you. I'd like to ask the Honorable Archie Stavelli to come on up.
Mr. President, James Ford,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to, with your permission, I'd like to call James
Miss,
Ford.
would you please use the microphone, please?
Thank you. I'd like to call Armando Medina here. I'd like to make a presentation with your permission, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What's up, Archie?
I'm going to keep this speech, I'll cut it back a little bit, but I'm here tonight to let you know that last year I didn't know Mr. Medina, but he worked hard, he's a dedicated person, a stand-up citizen, and he deserved the council seat because he beat two other contestants for this job. I found to be very worthy. And on behalf of the Linden Citizens Association, the Executive Committee, President Rich Guerra, and I, Archie Strazella, First Vice President, would like to make this little presentation, this little token for our appreciation for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to make a little speech? Oh, okay.
Thank you. Pat Hero, would you come up, please? Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome. Pat Hero, Wheat Chief Road. First, I want to congratulate Councilman Christopher Colibus, of course, on his reelection and his inauguration this year. And I'd like to welcome Armando Medina to the council. It's so great having two independents on the council. Sorry, a little political there. But as an independent, I am grateful for that. I'd like to start off with something Hippocrates said, and I think it applies very well to government. It's called, first, do no harm. The fact is, and I will talk about it in the resolution, government has the possibility to do a great deal of harm to people. Some of it may be intentional with eminent domain. Some of it may be unintentional. The result of your policies that aren't fully thought through, their impact they may have, the unintended consequences. So while sometimes you might think, oh yes, we've always done it this way, and so we're going to do it again this year this way, maybe what you've been doing all along was because you hadn't thought about it. And when you think about it, you might come up with a different result. And I know it's hard to think about a lot of stuff because you people are incredibly busy. Some of you have active families, some of you have full-time jobs, and then you have this council position. And then, of course, you have all the people calling you on the phone, wanting this, wanting that, wanting the other thing. So it makes it very difficult. And that's where we come in, the civic activists. We do our best to try to inform you of what you might need to do, and we hope you listen to us. And you listen to all of us, because sometimes you might write somebody off, and they will have just come up with the most brilliant idea. And because you weren't listening and you wrote them off, you've never heard it. And sometimes you'll listen to us, and you wish, well, you had thought of that idea. And because we gave you that idea, you can take it and run with it. And next week, next Tuesday, is Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that everybody can be great because everyone can serve. But you have to serve something different. You can't serve your own self-interest. You can't serve your party's self-interest. You have to serve the city's interest, what's best for the city. Not what's best for the party bosses, not what's best for your own personal, maybe, development of, your own self-interest. Maybe you have a project that's going on, you can make thousands of dollars from it if this gets passed. That's not what it's all about. It's in the city's self-interest. And for the people who will never know, the people will never come up here to thank you for that. And that's when you'll be great, is when you do that. So thank you, and we hope, as the late Rodney King said, we can all get along this year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Freeholder Hudak to come up, please.
Good evening, Council President. I come to you tonight, first of all, representing the Board of Freeholders. I want to congratulate the Council on their reorganization and wish you the best of luck. The county always stands, and the Board always stands ready to assist all the members of the Council with their various projects in the city, and we've worked in tandem on many projects in the past, specifically the storm. We had a lot of shared operations, and I know as all of you were involved in your individual wards with different projects, and we always stand ready to assist in the time of crisis. So best luck on a successful year. I also want to congratulate Councilman Medina on his election, and welcome to the council, and best of luck to you. But I stand also before you as the Democratic Chairman of the City of Linden, and also representing the Linden Democratic Club. And we want to congratulate Chris Colibus, who was reelected for the second time to the First Ward Council seat. Third time, well, no, reelected.
Oh, reelected.
So third time in, and we're proud to still have you on the council. You've done a very effective job working with all the members of council, and we have a small token of our appreciation from the club and the committee. I'm going to take the mystery out of it. It's a book, but a little something for us to your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. And Councilman Colibus, since you were just spoken about, we'll ask you to give your report.
Thank you, Council President. First and foremost, I want to thank, I want to thank everybody for coming here tonight and supporting all of us on council. Then, first and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Rose, my daughters, Ava, Juliana, for always being there for me. And we look forward, and I'm looking forward to our third daughter on the way. That could happen any minute, any second now. So I'll make this speech as quick as I can do it then, because all the excitement might put her into labor here. So I want to thank my mom and dad for always supporting me as well. I want to thank the Linden City Democratic Club and the Linden First Ward Democratic Club for their support and help, all my family members and friends, and every First Ward resident who came out and voted for me in the primary. It was a tough election, and in the general election as well. My deepest thanks for having the faith in me to represent your ward again. I want to congratulate 9th Ward Councilman Armando Medina on his election to the 9th Ward. I look forward to working with him. I want to thank the mayor and my council colleagues. At times up here, and I said it before in the past, it looks like turmoil, but I see in the future that we're going to all try to work together, and we're going to try to make this thing, what we call the city of Linden, better and lean forward. And that's the thing we're going to do. And I'm positive, and I know stuff is coming up, as the mayor mentioned in his speech, that things are on the horizon to make this a better place for all citizens and our ratables to expand as well. But I just want to leave you with this. You know, I was thinking of what to say tonight, and if I forgot anybody to thank, I apologize for that. I just want to say that we work hard up here on council, and there's a lot of hard decisions we make. This will be going into my 7th year. I never thought some of the decisions I have to make would affect so many lives, but I guess you're naive going into it, and you know sometimes it's the cold hard truth that sometimes you have to make the tough decisions. And the mayor stresses that sometimes we do have to make hard decisions. But I believe that if you believe in what you believe in, we all work hard. That you should never be limited by your parties, but you always be limited by your ideologies, and it's something you live by. So sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy, but I just want to say this to my council members. I respect every one of them, and the mayor and the council president's decisions or their opinions, because that's what they are. But I think we just have to learn, and we are learning, that we have to make decisions as a whole to see Linden lean forward. So on that, I just want to say, God bless you all, and God bless this great city of Linden. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I'd like to move out of sequence and ask Armando Medina to make a comment.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year's. I would like to start off by thanking Bob Frazier for his service to the city as councilman of the 9th Ward for the past 15 years. I took great pleasure in working with Mr. Frazier for the past 4, and I know I have some big shoes to fill, but I assure you I will do my best to fill them. I would also like to thank all of my supporters for taking time out of their busy lives to help me campaign. I would also like to personally thank Richard and Guerra, along with everyone at the Linden Citizen Association, for their support. I look forward to working with everyone on council to help move our great city forward, and I'm honored to represent my constituents in the 9th Ward as well as the citizens of Linden. Lastly, I would like to wish my wife a happy birthday. And also, I would like to congratulate Richard and Guerra for the 35th year wedding anniversary. And thank you all. And God bless.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Rich Cozio.
Council President, I'm going to save my regular monthly remarks for the meeting later in the month, but I would just like to also congratulate Councilman Chris Colibus and our new councilman, Mr. Medina, Armando Medina. And by the way, happy birthday, now that we all know. And as Chris said, this is a year that's going to be faced with, we're going to be faced with a lot of challenges, but also opportunity. And I look forward to a very good and productive year. And I just want to wish everybody a happy new year and a report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown.
Thank you. First, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. And I want to congratulate again I knew Board President George Alvarez. I know he's worked hard, and he lives in the 3rd Ward, and we talk a lot, and I want to congratulate him again, because I know he'll do some wonderful things on the Board of Ed. I also want to congratulate Councilman Calabas. We've worked a lot throughout the last couple years. You know, I've called him early in the morning. He's always been responsive, so I'm going to keep up that tradition. And to the 9th Ward Councilman, I want to say congratulations again. I know, was it last week, we met for like 2-3 hours, and I feel like we share a lot of the same ideas, you know, and the 9th Ward's lucky to have him. I think he's going to do some good work. End of report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead?
Yes, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like to wish everybody a happy new year and healthy and prosperous one. I'd like to congratulate Councilman Calabas on his reelection. Look forward to working with him for the next 3 years. I'd also like to congratulate my good friend Armando Medina for his election. I know he's going to do an outstanding job. I'm just looking forward to the new year, and I'd like to wish all my colleagues on council a happy new year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Armstead. Councilwoman Cosby-Hurley.
Thank you, Council President. Happy New Year, everyone. I just wanted to make a quick announcement before next week's meeting that we will be having a community meeting on January 30th, 6:30 p.m. The Linden Police Department will provide us with a workshop. It's the Citizens Response to Active Shooter. We've been trying to schedule this for quite some time, and it's pretty appropriate now since after the Connecticut incident. It'll be 6:30 at the John Street Multipurpose Center on January the 30th. Congratulations to Councilman Calabas. We had a good time walking during the primary, and I met people who I didn't know lived in the 1st Ward. Congratulations to Councilman Medina. And I just wanted to say that we tonight, as a council, had an opportunity to see just how much we're going to work together. And we actually did, you know, work together on the committee selections. Everyone beforehand provided a list of what they wanted to serve on, and we had, you know, no issues. So I'm excited about that, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work that way this year. And I'm excited. I'm just going to announce my committee assignments. Accident review, engineering, negotiations, and personnel. And I'm also going to be on the Newark Airport FAA noise committee, as well as recycling. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sadowski?
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and looking forward to a great year for Linden. It will include us, but of course, mostly it will include you. Congratulations to Councilman Chris Ward and Armando. Well, there you are, Armando. I know we will work together. I know you did forget the donuts tonight, but that's okay. But we are looking forward, and I think, just like the mayor said, I hope we can go forward and make this a great community. Mrs. Medina, happy birthday. Thank you. All have a good year and a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Shee?
Thank you, sir. I'd like to welcome Mr. Collins back. Now he's a senior member. We really need his experience. He's been stepping up to the plate the last year or two. He's like me. We were a little shy at first back there, but I really trust Chris, and you know, he's a heart-filled guy, and he votes with his conscience, and that's what I like about him. And Mr. Medina's got big shoes to fill, replacing Mr. Frazier. I don't think it could be done, but I think Mr. Medina is the best chance we have of filling Mr. Frazier's shoes. And I've seen him go out there, and he put his feet to the pavement. If he does the job he did during that election, to go out and see every person in that 9th Ward, he's more familiar with the 9th Ward than people that have been living there for a lifetime. He spent over the whole summer campaigning and devotion. The devotion that he put into that campaign is why he's sitting there, and he's just an honest, straight-up person, and I'm glad that he's sitting up here by me. And I'd like to tell the people of the 7th Ward, tonight's our last trash pickup, so the people that were, hit with that storm, please get your trash out tonight if you're watching, because we're not going to have another trash pickup until the springtime. And that's the end of my report, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakaitis?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to wish Happy New Year to everyone and congratulate my colleagues Chris Colibus and welcome Councilman Armando Medina to the dais. I look forward to working with all my colleagues on council. And I think last year really brought to light that people can walk the walk, can talk the talk and walk the walk. It brought out the best. People on this dais were able to put politics aside and get things done. And I look forward to this year ahead. I think we're going to accomplish a lot. And I'd also like to wish happy birthday to my colleague on the council, Mr. Sheehy.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Still a lot, Mr. Sheehy. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Yamakaitis. Councilman Kozinski?
Well, first off, I'll say happy birthday to everybody. Apparently, this is the most popular day for birthdays, so happy birthday. Second, Happy New Year to everyone. And congratulations to Chris Colibus on his election. I truly look forward to working with him again. This is my first year on council, and there was a lot of learning on a lot of different levels. There's the political issues, and then there's learning what do I say, when do I say it kind of thing. And Councilman Colibus never turned away, always answered a call, and I'm very grateful for that. And Councilman Medina, I hope to help you in the same way. Now that I'm here for a year, I'm looking forward greatly to having Councilman Medina by my side, both on the dais and also in the geography of Linden. The 9th Ward's right there next to the 10th Ward, so I'm sure we'll be working together an awful, awful lot, you'll probably see me more than your wife after a few months. So congratulations on that. So also, to echo what some of my colleagues have said, I was encouraged this past year. A lot of people spoke with a lot of pessimism about the council. Why do you want to run? Why do you want to get involved? And I've had a numerous amount of experiences, a number of experiences, I should say, that made that a total falsehood. There's a lot of hope here. There really is. And I hope to give it all my energy again this year. I know Councilman Medina will. I know Councilman Colibus will. I know we all will. So with that, thank you very much, Mr. Council President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Right now, we have to move into election for a council pro temp, president of the council pro temp, to take charge for when I'm not around. I'd like to ask for a nomination, please.
Council President.
Nope.
Can I make the nomination like I did in the back?
Mr. Kozinski?
I would like to make a nomination for Councilwoman Michelle Yamakaitis to serve as President Pro Temp for the 2013 year.
Second.
And I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Clerk? You take the roll.
Mr. Colibus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mrs. Yamakaitis, I ask you to come forward and to be sworn in, please. And Mrs. Yamakaitis, both sons are with her today, and they're helping out holding the Bible.
I
I, Michelle Yamakaitis,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office of Council President Pro Tem for 2013,
and justly perform all the duties of the office of Council President Pro Tem 2013,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Ms. Yamakaitis. We're going to move into resolutions 2013-1 through 2013-14. Public comments will be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions which have been prepared by the City Clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. Does anyone wish to remove item 1 to 14 on my right? Pat Hero? Number 2? Anyone else on my right here? In the center?
Yeah.
On my left, anybody wishes to remove? I ask for a motion on the others.
Council President, I ask that resolutions 2013-1 through 7 be passed with the exception of resolution 2013-2, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. I'd like to ask Pat Hero to come up, please.
When I said the first principle should be for government to do no harm, this is where you're doing a great deal of harm. For the interest of the public, I will, let me move it down a little bit more, I'm not that tall. I will read, resolution fixing the rate of interest to be charged for the non-payment of taxes or assessments. 8% per annum on the first $1,500 of delinquency, and 18% per annum on any amount in the excess of $1,500 shall be charged for the non-payment of taxes or assessments to be calculated from the date the taxes or assessments were payable until the date of the actual payment. An additional penalty of 6% of the amount of delinquency in excess of $10,000 on any delinquent balance remaining at the end of the calendar year. I'm going to ask that you pull this and vote on it on the January 21st, the next meeting that the council will have. The reason why I do this is because I think this is something that you've continually voted on time and time and time again without realizing the consequences it has to the people involved. Clarence Page once said, "We've abandoned our war on poverty. Now we have a war on poor people." And I think the government is here making the war on poor people. It's easy for some of you. Some of you have family household incomes of over $100,000. But then there are the other people in this town. The people who watch as their entire income. People may say, well, a lot of people don't pay income tax. Well, you know why? Because they're in the poverty level, and they watch as all their income goes to pay property taxes. There are seniors in this town who can't afford to eat, who have their children pay for their food because all their money is going to property taxes. And you know why they don't want to sell their homes? Because they've lived there all their lives. That's where their friends are. That's where their community is. That's where everything they know is. And when you're old, it's a lot hard, very hard to move from the places you know. Or maybe they have neighbors that are willing to help them out, and they don't have very much family at all. and they don't want to move because of that. And when you pay all this money to go to property taxes, I mean, even the credit cards don't charge this much as 18%. And all it takes is one medical crisis, one unemployment crisis, and before you know it, that money is just skyrocketing. If you look at your credit card bills, they'll say if you pay it off in this amount, you only have to pay this amount. But when you have 18% interest rate, that money skyrockets before you even know it, and you're having so much financial difficulty, you can't even think straight. So I'm asking you to pull this until the 21st, and I think we have to do something better than charge our people 18%, the ones who are already struggling in this town. Like I said, some of you don't even know the meaning of struggling. You've never eaten one yam for a dinner because that's all you can afford. But I'm speaking for those people. I'm speaking for the people who are too proud, and there are a lot of them in this town, to come to this podium and say what I have to say. But I'm speaking for them. I'm speaking for the people who won't even be able to hear me because they got rid of cable TV a long time ago because all they can do is hang on and pay their property taxes. First, do no harm. That's what we ask. And stand on the side of poor people, just like Dr. Martin Luther King. He was fighting. He had the Poor People's Campaign. Maybe some of you, a lot of you don't know it because you weren't even around when he was alive. But I was, and I remember. And I ask you in the spirit of Dr. King, whose birthday is next Tuesday, to remember too and stand on the side of the poor people in this town. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Stacy Cannon, come up, please. Can you give us some insight into this resolution, please?
As required by state statute, we must have this on the agenda every year. Turn around.
You really got to speak into the microphone.
And we have to establish this every year, and the only time it can change is when we have a mailing by state law. So any type of change for any type of delinquency or interest rate would have to be done after the next mailing, which is going to be done in August or November, or for the November next bill. Other than that, we can't change it right away when anybody questions it. So when you questioned it in, I think, November or December, with the letter to the mayor, there's nothing we can do until the next mailing, if we decide to change it. So for 2013, it would have to stay, but for 2014, it could be something that could be considered.
Councilman Armstead?
Ms. Correct. I have a question for you. If we did change it, how do you think that would impact the city fiscally?
Well, financially, it could hurt any investors that would come in for a tax sale, if there was any tax sales that we have to have every year. Whenever there's a delinquency, we have to collect it. Even if it's not paid, the last form of enforcement is a tax sale. If we lower the interest rate or and do away with the 6% year-end penalty, it could make some of those investors go away. They pay the taxes and pay it. It is a burden, however, it is what's necessary by state law at this time.
So in your opinion, what we're doing is in the best interest of the city?
I do believe so. Unfortunately, the majority of people that are delinquent is not as high as everybody expects. It is, for the ratio, about maybe $1,500 a quarter at the start, and they pay minimal $5, $10, $15. It's not an abundance amount of money, but
Is it more residents or commercial?
the ratio on that I don't know, but the 6% is all either multiple family dwellings or businesses. The delinquencies sometimes are really only less than the 8%. They're sometimes less than $1,500, but every circumstance is different because everybody's taxes are different.
Councilman Brown has a question.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback what Councilman Armstead was saying, again, I mean, we're doing this because, one, is for the best interests of the city. But in Alexis, if we could touch base, I mean, our, I guess, tax collection rate is pretty stabilized, is pretty high.
It is pretty high.
And so, I mean, again, I just want to, again, repeat, this doesn't affect the majority, a smaller majority. And for the most part, I think when you guys looked into this, it was mostly businesses and, I mean, it wasn't a lot of residential.
No, not for the 6%. The delinquencies, people are a day late here and there. But we do have a 10-day grace period. We don't, the statute allows us to do that. It's up to 10 days. And anything that comes in, anything after that, we have to charge interest by this resolution, which is based on a state statute that we are required every year to have. But again, if there's any change that wants to be looked at, until next year, nothing would be able to be done. And, you know, we could, if you would feel it would be done, you'd have to look into it to have it done on the mailing, because it has to be on the tax bill, or in an insert or a separate mailing to every taxpayer. They have to be put on notice by law.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I ask that Resolution 2013-2 be passed and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Abstain.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. At this point, I'd like to ask the deputy clerk to pass out the appointments I made for liaisons. And we have no ordinance for first reading this month. On behalf of Mr. Kalabas and Mr. Medina, they invite the members of the governing body, their guests, and members of the public to the Gregorio Center for refreshments. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, January 21st, 2013, at 6 p.m. in the Council Conference Room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, January 22nd, 2013, 6 p.m. in the Council Conference Room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting January 22nd, 2013, at 7 p.m. in the Council Chambers, City Hall, 301 Wood Avenue. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.